They shut the schools down too. My kids were right outside the Stewart fence. They planted that grass right above you there. There was St. Raymond's School there. They had a Catholic school right there, St. Raymond. St. Mary's was gone, so Raymond, the bishop, Hanshauser, they built a school right there. And they had, Jer and Dan and Johnny went there, didn't they, Em?
Jer and Dan.
Just Jer and Dan. Becky went to the Blaine. Then she went to North Central. And Dan and Jer and Johnny all graduated from Boys Central. And then Becky graduated from Central.
Did Bishop Hunthausen come for that school's opening?
Oh yeah, that was right there. And you know, of all the places to put it, the busiest street in the world, them kids had to cross there in the morning, and at noontime there's cars going up and down Main Street. But that was right. That was St. Raymond's.
You're not related to Bert Riley, are you?
No, I'm not really. No, right.
The what? No. Okay, because he had some Larrys in his family. Were you ever inside the Silver City Club?
Oh, we went to Yamer's birthday party, didn't he?
Now, who was Yamer?
He owned the place. That was the guy's name that owned it, Yamer.
Frank Yamer?
Yeah, he had the Colored Giants. They were the baseball team. Boy, they had a stage. Stack Berman and all them guys.
Who were some of the people on that team?
There was Stack Berman and Hy Brown and with his brother and Gertie Venner. You know, that was something. Gertie Venner worked for Florstein Shoe at a Gamer's restaurant. He had cover hulls. On the back of one of them said Gamers in red letters, and then when he'd go across to Florstein Shoe, where that bus thing is where you wait for, that was right in that area there. He changed a different set of coveralls. You know what Gertie Venner owned?
What?
Every single house on Maryland Street from where it splits to the railroad tracks above the Pioneer Fuel. He owned every house. He was the landlord.
And he was a maintenance guy in town.
And he was a black man.
But he played on the Black Giants.
Color Giants. They beat every team. You know, as you go into the west side, you go down where they got all them houses there.
Where?
Where you go down Missoula Avenue.
Okay.
To go over to Excelsior Street.
Okay.
Right, there was a great big ball field there. They used to call that the north side ball field, northwest ball field. I used to watch them play, the Colored Giants play Walkerville. Walkerville had a hell of a baseball team. Man, they couldn't stand up to them guys.
Who was their coach, John?
I don't know, Stack Spearman or what do you call it, the big bartender, Glenn, what the heck? I can't even remember his name now. Wendell Glenn was his kid, but the father's name was, Glenn was his last name. He was a big black man. But they used to go to a football game in the Ranchi Stadium, stay there till the half, go across the street to the Silver City Club, never see the rest of the game. Open the windows and watch the game.
So now, were Frank and Grace were married, right?
Yamer?
Yeah. And they owned the Silver City Club?
Yeah.
And then did they live above the club?
I don't remember where they lived. Right, you know where the Sheep Shares Union is?
Yeah.
Well, that Glenn, the bartender, he lived right next door there. There was a house there. And he was married to a white lady. But I can't forget what. But his first of all, he was a big black man out there.
What did he do for a living?
Bartender. He was a bartender
at the Silver City?
Silver City Club, yeah. We were in there one night, and there was a colored guy come in, and they called him, not black then, they were called colored men. He was down the end of the bar, and you could tell he was a transit, but he started mouthing off about the white guys being in there. And Clint Glenn, that was his name, Clint. I'll never forget, he walked down the end of the bar, and this is what he said. He said, "Nigger, the railroad tracks are 11 blocks down the street," he said. "There's freight trains running all the time. He said, you better be on your way down there. He said, what are you gonna do? He said, see them steps out there? He said, yeah. He said, there's 21. He said, I guarantee you I can throw you clean to the bottom without touching the step. He was gone. He picked up the old bindle stiff and he was gone.
Huh.
You bet.
Well, what was that bar like? What did they have up there?
They had a bar on the north wall.
It was on the second floor, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then they had tables, and then they had the dance hall, great big dance hall, and the orchestra pit. That's the first time I ever seen anything like it. They had a great big jar. It looked like a cat, and that's what they used to say on it, feed the kitty. They used to play, that's how they made their money for playing in the orchestra.
And then who were some of the bands that would come?
Oh, I don't remember a lot of their names or that, but I know they were a close-knit bunch of people, boy.
Were the musicians from Butte or from outside?
Oh, yeah, they were here. And then when Yamer's birthday party, when he had his 90th birthday, they came from all over. The Zebra Club in Great Falls, they all came down from there, and the one in Billings, man, you couldn't believe it. They had free food and everything, and they had they really had a party. But Yamer, towards the end, he just barely could shuffle along, you know. But they never got out of place. Hiawatha Brown and his brother were the only two colored men that ever worked at the Butte mines.
Is that right?
They worked at the Stewart.
What did they do there?
Miners, just like the rest of them. They were accepted, they were part of Butte, they were born and raised in a cabbage patch. They played football for Butte High. They were two of the best trackmen Butte High ever had. They had more records than them two Brown brothers. And then that Clint Glenn's kid, Wendell Glenn, he was a track star for Butte High. Black man. Hiawatha Brown was the best. Little League had started then, you know. And I was coaching at the Longfellow, and he was umpiring at the Father Sheen Park. He was the greatest umpire. He was as fair could be. He was calling the game one night, and it was a close play at home, and he called out the kid that was out. He was out, and a lady in the stands jumped up and said, "You black nigger SOB." He took off the whole outfit, set it on top of the home plate and walked out and never, boy, they were going to kill that lady. They tried everything. No way. He never would come back.
I'll be darned.
Yeah. But, you know, they had a church on the corner of, right here where the police department is now?
Yeah.
That was the black church there.
Was that a Baptist church or what was it?
Yeah. The Elks owned the property then. We owned that whole block then.
Who was the minister for that church?
Boy, a lot of people though, I know one thing, a lot of guys used to catch carp, you know. A lot of carp in the Jefferson River. Them big ugly things. And they used to bring them to that, them people used to like that carp, they'd have big fish fries and everything, but yeah, this colored church was right there on the corner where the...
Well, were there any other bars besides the Silver City Club? Like, I know there was Mammy's Shack out on the road to Anaconda. Are you familiar with that at all?
The what?
Mammy's Shack? Or any others in
The Rainbow Inn.
Here in Butte?
Oh, that was at Crackerville. That was run by a colored guy.
Is that right?
Yeah. You know where you have to go the old road to get to Anaconda, you know, when you come out on the highway there, they call it Dead Man's Curve because so many people got killed on that corner speeding. But Crackerville was right across from, right, the bridge used to go over the Silverbow Creek there, and it was right off to the side. Oh, that was a great dance place too. And then they had the Sunrise Inn, that was at Nestler. And then they had 2 or 3 more bars right on the other side of the highway there at Silverbow. There was 2 or 3 bars right there. But the Sunrise Inn was right there where the road turns now, where the interstate goes to Deer Lodge, or to Dillon. But their colored people, well, they knew their place, but they had 6 and 7 jobs, you know. They all had money. I'll tell you, they had all the jobs that nobody else wanted. You know?
Yeah.
Like Yamer.
Well, now, what year did you go off to the war?
But I left there in 1943.
1943. So you worked the first 2 years here in Butte?
On Western Union.
Oh, okay. So in 43, what year? What month in 43?
I left on Mother's Day. Did they